Where's Richard? Richard in the house. Here he is. Let's give it up for Richard. We're gonna double mic you.
Okay.
The stage is yours, brother.
I have a question for the men here. Is it possible to understand the feminine? And as we are gentlemen, I have a question for the female here. Do you really always understand yourself? So I saw this really funny video. There was a bunch of all the women trying to explain a guy how to understand the feminine. And he's like, after some time, I got it. I just listen sympathetically. And if she does not explicitly ask me for it, then I don't try to fix her problem. And they're like, yay, you got it. And he's like, okay, I got it. So when she's coming home and she's saying, oh, the waiter was really rude today, I don't say like, hey babe, why don't you just order something that's on the menu? I say, oh babe, what a jerk. And they're like, yeah, you got it. And he's like, oh, I got it. And when she's saying, oh, I really hate this TV, it drives me crazy. Then I'm like, oh yeah, there's not enough quality programs for women on the TV, I feel you. And they're like, no, shut off the fucking TV. And he's like, oh, I'm so confused. But don't be confused, just see it from a different angle. So I'm coaching men, but before I coach women to find their femininity. And it's like, look at the feminine like a flower, like this creature of this beauty of nature, and it wants to be adored. It's like the rose of the little prince. It wants to be protected. It wants to be nourished. And like, which rose wants to share the attention of the little prince with a TV? Huh? So it's something. Let's take it there and think about another thing of a flower. So they have two flowers in this experiment, and one flower is said really beautiful things every day, and there's the other flower and they say really bad things, and this flower just flourishes beautifully, and that flower just shrinks. That's the feminine. It's shining, but it's vulnerable, and it's gonna grow with your appreciation, and it's gonna shrink when you criticize it. And sorry, feminine, we men, we are wired differently. We are wired like Sylvester Stallone. If I go over to a guy and tell him, hey bro, you fat, go to the gym, there's a big possibility that he's like motivated the next day, and he's gonna go to the gym and he's gonna do, I'm gonna get ripped like Sylvester Stallone. But tell this to a female woman, hey, you fat, go to the gym. Ouch. Don't do that. Like, if you don't want to be in a relationship with the female version of Sylvester Stallone, don't do that. It's really about appreciating her, about penetrating her with your presence, about devotion. And this may sound sexual, no, penetrating with with your presence, but it's masculine and feminine. And if you are able to, even if you're triggered, stay in your presence, then you are more sexy than a six-pack. So guys, don't think about the six-pack. Do that. And isn't that beautiful? The feminine as a teacher of presence. And I was in this monastery, and there was this lama with this long stick, and when the monks fell asleep, bam, he hit them on the head. And the feminine is even better at that. The feminine, it shines with your presence, but it will rip your head off and will make you feel the wrath of the goddess, and you will be like, why? Because you haven't been present, my brother. And that is so beautiful. The feminine as the merciless teacher of presence. And I really want to say, obviously, there should be limits, there should be boundaries. But that's a talk for another 5 minutes. And I just want to say, if you don't put boundaries to the feminine, and if you just accept everything, then it will walk over you like a doormat. And who of the feminine here likes to go out with a doormat? So don't be a conscious doormat, put the boundaries, but appreciate it, don't criticize it, and just let it shine. And this is really important because there's too many relationships that end up being sexless friendships. And there are too many amazing men that never felt how it is to be admired. There are too many men that feel like a golem in a virtual cave and like really not sexy. So I'm Richard De Leon, and I teach men how to open up the feminine like a flower in relationships and in sexuality. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Beautiful. Such an important conversation to be having, I think. And today, more than any other day, with all the crazy shit that's happening in the world between toxic masculinity and overly masculine femininity and all of that stuff that's going on. Speaking my language, brother. Love it. Thank you so much, Richard. I think one of the biggest, let's give it up for Richard one more time. I'm not going to clap on the microphone. I think one of the biggest insights around that for myself that really unlocked it is women need to feel understood where men need to feel appreciated. And I was like, oh, that really opened it up for me. And so if you haven't heard that before or you haven't considered it, go away and really think about that. Men, how can you understand your woman? And for females, how can you make your man or help your man feel like he is the man by appreciating him? It's really great. We both have unique roles in the relationships that we have.